the Void just Sentry's dark side, or is it actually a separate person? If you think the Void is simply Sentry losing control and turning evil, it is more complicated than that. The Void is both part of Sentry and almost a separate identity. When Bob Reynolds gained his incredible power, it amplified everything buried inside him. His courage, compassion, and desire to protect others became Sentry, but his fear, trauma, and destructive impulses manifested as the Void. The Void is not an outside demon. It is not a parasite possessing Bob. It comes from Bob himself. Without Bob, there is no Void. But here is what makes the situation terrifying. Sentry and the Void can behave like two distinct personalities. When the Void takes control, Sentry can become almost like a prisoner inside his own mind, forced to witness the consequences of what his other side does. That is why calling the Void simply an evil Sentry misses the point. The Void is Bob's darkest self given its own identity and power, and that creates Sentry's greatest problem. He cannot simply destroy the Void without confronting the part of himself that created it. Trying to erase the Void means trying to erase part of Bob Reynolds himself. That is why some Sentry stories focus less on defeating the Void and more on Bob confronting, accepting, or integrating that darkness. The real battle was never just Sentry versus the Void. It was Bob Reynolds fighting the part of himself he was most afraid to face. So, if Bob could completely accept the Void without losing control, would that create the strongest version of Sentry?